Hello. So, how are we doing today, everyone? I'm going to lift the screen up a little bit. My lighting's not very good. Oh, and there's a big old beam. You see that above my head. So I'm actually going to go live on. I'm going to go live. I'm going to go live on Facebook. So let's do that. I wonder if Cordelia will join me as well. I wonder if I can pause this. Hello. Okay, we're live. Right. So I'm just getting the hang of this. So bear with me, people. Hi, how are we doing? I'm going to start sharing this across other platforms as well. And I'm going rogue today. I'm going rogue. So I have no idea how this is coming across. But I just really wanted to go live and start talking about something that's really, really important, which is to clarify your coaching package. And it doesn't really just apply to coaches. It fucking applies to anyone who's got a skill-based business. I do that because it's like you can't really touch it. It's all in your brain. It's concept. So if you've got a skill-based business, coach, consultant, I don't know, you're even a content creator, right? Like agency, something that is not super tangible. What? Sorry, I'm just trying to share all this. Yeah, if you haven't got something that's super tangible, it's really flipping hard. I don't know where that was shared to. I'm going to go, I shared it public. Right, so now I'm going to share to a page. I'm going to share to Rebellious Business. Let's do that as well. Just so you know, because I'm trying to get this going on all our platforms. I'm going to also share it to the Rebellious Business Network. Let's get this going everywhere. I'm going to go all over the gaff. Already got some viewers, which is quite nice. Bear with me because I promise you there is going to be some golden nuggets to take away from this. I haven't got a title package. Clarity, that's all I'm going to do. I can amend it later. And this is very much in Launchable style. I am bathing it, building as I fly, because I know that this is a really important topic. So I'm going live. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to share it across our platforms. If you are watching me live, give me a hashtag live, give me a thumbs up, share, comment below, let me know you're here, post your questions. And yeah, I am going to do my best to give you some value, RE, package creation and clarity. So what the hell is it, firstly? So I am the messaging strategist, I suppose, of Rebellious Business. I'm also a coach. So I perform two roles in Rebellious Business. Sorry, I'm getting so confused with all these windows. I'm just going straight into it. I perform a few roles in Rebellious Business. I am both the a CFO, so I handle a lot of the finances and I'm managing what we're doing as a financial plan. And I'm also the background messaging strategist. So I have been refining and fine-tuning our packages, the concepts that the branding sort of message. As you tell, I'm still working on my own refinement. And I am also a coach and consultant for our clients and our members. So what I find is a really big problem for a lot of consultants out there is that they just don't know what they're doing. It's really hard to define your package, your concept, your idea, because it's not really tangible and solid. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. So I want to get some questions up. Can I answer any questions? Has anyone got any questions about what I just said, basically? I'm intrigued. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to generate some. And I should probably put some headphones in. Haven't got any. Who's on the live? Right. No, nothing on the live. Oh, I've got a like. I've got a like on the live stream, which is lovely. Got a couple shares probably from me. I think the first question, the first thing to address is the reason why clarity is so important. We have definitely noticed in rebellious business that there's a lot more resistance to people booking calls than there used to be. And this is something that I kind of always predicted would happen, because when everything started to move online and everyone started to build online businesses, it was a bit of a boom, right? It was a bit of a like, wow, this is amazing. I can earn money and work from my laptop and be online, and by just creating my skill. And it was because there wasn't that as many people doing it, you could be kind of vague about what it was that you did, and just give general ideas. And your customers who were looking for your skill set, but maybe having to go to someone in person, were excited that someone could offer them that online. So not only could you work online as a consultant or a service or a coach, your customers were also, your potential customers at least, were also excited to have an online service as well. And so when the coaching sort of industry sort of took off, it was great for both consumer and for provider, okay, the service provider. However, the supply and demand, so the supply and demand was in the favor of the supplier when everything first started kicking off, because they had a unique set of skills which a lot more people didn't have, which was that they could deliver their package and service to an audience online, whereas a lot of people couldn't, and they were still sort of stuck in this offline world as well. And myself and Cordelia and a lot of our friends that we met, we really had this like cutting edge when we first got started as coaches and consultants, because we'd already been building online businesses and learning like skills to market prior to the huge sort of like shift, prior to lockdowns and prior to the period where people were forced to work from home. We were already invested in learning how to work from home and learning how to create online businesses. So when it came to the point where everyone wanted to move online, we had an edge, and we were also teaching online business skills as well. I was teaching messaging and copywriting, and Cordelia was teaching business strategy. So we definitely had the benefit of being at the front end of that sort of shift into when everyone wanted to learn these skills. So there was this huge influx of supply, and other people in that industry as well would also experience that, right? Like, and the same, like I said, because customers were excited about getting online services at that time, and there wasn't as many services delivering that expertise, the competition was relatively low, and the supply demand sort of balance was in the favor of the supplier. So it created this idea among coaches and consultants and service-based business owners and anyone who's kind of delivering a product online through content. It created this idea that, wow, this is a gold mine, right? Like, oh, I've really hit on something secure and lucrative. But a lot of that is deceptive, because it just was indicative of what was happening at the time, which was that not as many people had the skills to produce their service online. So it was, it showed people like, oh, there really is a lot of opportunity here. But that opportunity was a lot to do with the fact that it was new for people to do that, and new for consumers to buy that way. Then comes, a bit more of a wave of people taking this on. So the supply and demand balance starts to become shifted more. Like it was still quite in favor, because a lot of people wanted to learn to do this, and people wanted to buy online as well. But then obviously what's happened is, aside from the fact the economy is not great at the moment, which means supply, the demand is lower for products in general, not just for coaches, consultants, service-based business owners. The demand for those products is lower, but also the supply is a lot higher as well. So, and then there's another element to it, which is majority of business owners and consultants who are supplying and providing a service, it's like it's not an essential. So when times are tough, people aren't trying to get life coaching or business coaching, or I don't know, like the extras that typically you get from when you're like what you do as a service. A lot of the services are not essential, and you might disagree with that. You might be like, no, actually, my pet training psychology course is totally essential. I think, people might disagree. So you've got a lot of things going against you if you're a service-based business owner right now, especially if you're starting out as well. The supply is huge. There's so much competition. The demand is low, and the economy is not great as well. And the business you're offering is not, people aren't desperate for it. So that kind of brings me back to where I was getting at, which is that we've really noticed in Rebellious that call volume is down, right? It's not as easy pickings as it used to be. We're doing all right. We're doing great comparatively, but we hear a lot, not just from our audience, our members, our clients. We hear from other big coaching people in the industry that the demand for just even to get on calls to talk about buying their program, the demand for that is really low. It's a lot harder to get those calls booked to sell your product than it used to be, which means that, well, this is my theory anyway, in order to now stand out, because it's not impossible, it's not impossible to stand out among the crowd, to sell your product, to make a difference, to be successful. That's not impossible. But what is happening is that it's harder than it used to be, because people are looking for real substance now. Like, they're not just kind of taking you because you're the only thing available, or the excitement is gone. You're not relying on novelty anymore. What you have to now rely on is substance and value. And that will help you stand out among a lot of people that are not providing substance and value. So how do you do that? Well, the starting point is to clarify what it is you're offering, which is like more than what 90% of people online are doing. It's all just fluff. It's all just benefits. It's all just outcome related. But what is the value for someone to get on a discovery call with you? Usually pretty low. There's nothing in it for them. Actually, they know that if they get on a discovery call with you, they're most likely just going to get sold into something, and that's not fun for them. They don't want to get sold into a package or a product. They actually want value, and that's why I think the whole point of the discovery calls should have been is to showcase your value. It should be really a taster of what you can offer. And so not only do you have to clarify what it is you do, you have to create this specific value, and then you have to communicate that. You have to say, if you get on this free call with me, here's the value you're going to get. And it's not just it can't just be figuring out whether or not you're right for coaching or not, because no one cares, quite honestly. It has to be it has to be generative, in that it's like the call has to create a value in and of itself, even if your prospect is never going to buy from you. So if like, for instance, we offer audience analysis. If you want to build a community, we focus on community marketing here. We have an audience analysis call. If you want to have your audience analyzed to see whether or not you have the potential to grow your own community or build a network, we provide an audience analysis for free. And obviously, if you haven't got any potential to grow a community or a network or build an audience or whatever, you're not actually in the position where we can work with you. You're not in the right stage. However, the audience analysis in and of itself will give you feedback and tips and hints on how you can cultivate an audience more so that you're in the place to work with us. And also you've got this thing to go away with and know more about yourself. So the value of that call is outside of whether or not you buy. So you have to think of like, what can I give to someone for free in half an hour that will provide them value outside of what they can potentially buy? Like whether or not you're feasible to work with me is just not a great value. Like unless you're super in demand, right? Unless you're like selling out of places and you're like, oh, I've only got one place left on my course and I've got 10 people who want to join me. I'm gonna vet you. Like you vetting your customer is not really that appealing for them. They're like, well, fight for me, actually. You know, that when that balance has shifted, you don't have the luxury to vet as well as you could before. You have to give. Now that's the first bit, because you can't just go around giving everything you could give, right? You have to also give a value that is relevant to your package, and you can't be a fix everything kind of brand now either. You can't do that, because that doesn't speak of value. And like I said, in order to stand out now, you have to provide substance and you have to provide value outside of potentially working with you to your customer. So in order to stand out, then you now have to create a niche. That's where the niching comes in. And you have to then, that niche has to be related to the product that someone is buying from you. So for instance, again, we teach people how to market using communities, or we teach people how to market by creating their own community, in essence, like create your own tribe, and therefore you're not sort of like scrambling for clients. If you build a tribe and you build a network, then you've got that audience made for you. And so we're not going to just start offering like a free mindset call to find out if you've got a good mindset, unless we can sort of like bridge it into how that helps them, how that relevant value pertains to building an audience. So like the audience analysis is a relevant niched value that links up to the Rebellious Entrepreneurs Academy as an example, because if you have a relevant, because if there is an audience there that you can cultivate, you're then primed for joining the program, and you're going to get value from it. But also firstly, there's that value, the value we can provide for you is still there. So right, step one is providing a value outside the package. Step two is making that value relevant for your program, so it niches you down. And when times are tough, when you're not making sales, the temptation to be generic is so strong, because if you think, because you're like, oh my God, opportunities are sparse, I've got to take what I can give. That's the intuitive thing to do, because you kind of want to just collect everything. But I have seen this proven time and time again, is actually when you niche down and you are more specific and more detailed about your package and your program and your area of expertise, you are more likely to mop up, right? You're more likely to do that, because if you think like, you've got in your vicinity, you've got 7 people, let's say, and they all want different things, but they're not all attracted to you. So you try and go mold yourself to all of them, which puts people off you because they're not attracted to you. Whereas if you hone in on your specific value and you put out that you're providing that service, then people are attracted to you who are outside of your vicinity, because you get referrals, you get there's always people, especially if you're creating content, that are they're lurking, right? You don't see them. So you've got people that see you, but you don't see, and you're saying stuff that hits them, connects to them. And also because you sound more competent and you sound more relevant when you're saying something specific and niched. So yeah, if you've got those 7 people or 700, whatever, you've got those people in front of you who aren't right for your niche, and you then trying to mold yourself to their needs, you're going to not sound competent to all of those 7 people. You're going to sound a bit wishy-washy. Whereas when you say something like really niche and really relevant and specific to your value, you might only interest one of those 7 people, but you're going to interest them like hard. They're going to be like much more committed to what you're saying. And then outside of that, you'll have the other layer of people that will be attracted to you that you can't see. So there's another thing. Do not try and blend in with what you can see. And I say this all the time to our clients. Like, I always have clients come on like, oh, I looked at this person. She puts her profile out like this, and she says this on her LinkedIn. And, I'm like, no. Firstly, don't make yourself the same as other people. Secondly, you don't know how successful she is. Just because this coach is saying this thing does not mean that she is making sales. And I can see objectively a lot of people, a lot of businesses, I don't mean to do that, that's not very fair, but a lot of businesses put out a bio or a profile or a thing that they do. And I can tell you just from how vague they are, but how, excitable, whatever, they are not probably doing that well, especially in the current climate. Whereas if someone is very specific and niche about what they do, they're more likely to do well, because also all the reasons I just said, niching is more important when times are tough. And it gives you that clarity. So we're talking about clarity today and package clarity. Firstly, you've got to add value and think of a value that is generative, i.e. a package that is generative, that is for free, so that whoever you talk to, they go away with that value. Now, another benefit of that is that people come back for more. The next thing is to make that value relevant to your follow-up package, and also kind of have one package. Now, you can have different levels and different levels of support, but have a very specific package. Now, again, you can have multiple packages, but when you have a free call, let's say, or a discovery call or whatever it is, make that discovery call relevant to the package that you're promoting. So it's not, hey, here's a discovery call of some kind of value, but you can buy one of 9 products. It's like, no, I want them to buy this package, therefore I'm going to provide them. So you kind of reverse engineer it. So I know I want to give you, like, there's some concepts for you, and here's a little exercise. Is you need a methodology, right? That's just plain and simple, and it needs to be like detailed, and it needs to be specific. And the best way to do that is come up with 3 steps for someone, like, so that like when they get on a call with you, what are the 3 things you're going to take them through? So step 1, I don't know, like so step 1 for us, we're going to assess all the different areas of your audience, right? Like who your LinkedIn contacts, your Facebook friends, maybe you're in Facebook groups, maybe you have a Facebook group. What's your email list like? We're going to assess all of that. And then so that's the step 1, right? Assessment, assess what you've got. And that's a pretty generic like thing to do, like general, like here, like you should really like look into what your client circumstances are, so you can gain better value. So you provide that assessment. Secondly is like a review, like here's my hypothesis on what you can do with what you've got, right? Like here, like showcasing that maybe you missed some elements of your audience that you weren't really familiar with, or I don't know, whatever it is, review that. So you're going to give them that feedback, like, here's what's going on in your audience, and give them some insights about, did they know their potential with this? Again, it's like, it's got nothing to do with whether they work with us or not, or join it, the program. It's like, here's some gold for you to tap into. Here's some low-hanging fruit. Do you know this exists? And then it's going to be like, let's create a plan. So that would be like a really good formula. Assess, review, and plan. Here's a plan for you to make the most out of the audience, right? Like, you've got this audience, you didn't know you had it, which is great. Like, this is the potentiality, and here are some steps that you can follow to make the most out of it, whatever it is you're trying to get. I think that's a really good sort of structure for you to create a generative package, so that when they come away, they've got that insight, they've got that understanding, and they've got a plan to move forwards with. And regardless of whether they decide to work with us or not, that is there to add value. But then it's like, you know, in that value, I like to think of it like it's a quick fix, right? You're offering a quick fix for their problem, right? It's here's what you can do quickly. Here's a value. I wonder if anyone's trying to get into this call right now as well. I usually have people waiting. No. So here's a quick fix. That's what you're going to provide in your short call. However, what you're offering as a package, something that they can pay for, will be transformative, right? Like, and that's a really good way to distinguish between the two. A long-term package working with you should be transformative. A short-term quick fix call will be, what's the word? Yeah, quick fix, right? So that's what you need to take away as well, is that you're trying to fix something for them, which is relevant to the transformation you're going to give them, which is niche down and of value in and of itself. That's basically it. You can, if you provide those things. Now, here's the thing as well, like the caveats. It's not going to work if you haven't got a value to add, if you haven't got a skill that's somewhat in demand, if you haven't got experience, right? Like, you can't, like, another one of the reasons why the coaching industry has gotten like put at the lately is because, well, why people think it's gone that way, but it hasn't, is because people who aren't actually interested in adding value, who are just trying to make money, are in the market playing as well, and no one wants to buy from them because they're not adding a value. It's not that good. So, you know, the package clarity, this is why the clarity is so important, because it showcases the fact that you actually have value to offer. So aside from the fact you're like, you know, you're niching down and showing a specific value, and you're adding value, and it's relevant and all the things, a lot of people won't be able to do this because they haven't got any value to offer. And if you're questioning your value, you're like, oh, I don't know if I've got value to offer, I wouldn't judge it based on like whether you're questioning it. Most people question their value. Most people are like, oh, I don't know if I've actually got a good enough value to add. I'm not sure, like, if people want it. Like, that's not a good reason to think you haven't got value. That's normal. We all question ourselves. It's people that know they haven't got good value to offer, but they're just in it to make money. And they're like, kind of, you know, it's like snake oil. They're just trying to make money. And there's so many people of those around, and people other consumers are catching on to that and not interested in buying that anymore. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to distinguish between the cheaters out there, the people that are, you know, faking it and, like, you know, just scamming people essentially, versus the people who have value to offer. And I find most people have value to offer, but they're not clear about what it is. They're not confident about what it is, and they don't know that they have an audience available to them to offer that value to, and who want that value. And that is a part of what we offer in Rebellious Entrepreneurs Academy. We don't take on people that are like scam artists or like haven't got any value to offer. It doesn't, like, mostly they're not that interested in learning. They just want to learn slick sales skills or kind of hypnotic phrases to trick your customer into buying from you, and how to look good, right? It's all a facade. What we teach is like how to bring out your value, how to tap into your existing audience, and how to make the most of what you've got and package it so that you can create value. And you know, that's our values as well. As we're very big on connection. We're very big on adding value. We're very big on taking action, and we put people first. Those are the big values within Rebellious Business, which is why I'm teaching you about substance. I'm not teaching you copywriting skills that hypnotize and I don't know, make you look amazing. I don't like that. I don't do that. And I also think people see through that as well. So I teach how to write copy that showcases your value so that people can see you. It's like you want to be a bit of a lighthouse, okay? Like people want to see you from far away. They don't want to see you trying to be a performing monkey and pretending you're something you're not. So that's basically what I'm trying to get at with this package clarity, especially in terms of creating a free quick fix call and a transformative long-term package. You need to add value. You need to really add a specific value, even if it's for free, because that showcases your value. And it's also honest. Like everyone's like, sign up for this discovery call. That's not very honest, right? Like just to sell someone into something. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's a trick, right? Jump onto this discovery call so I can sell you something, or get this free value, this very specific free value. So you have to provide value outside of whether they buy from you or not. Step one. Step two is make that value relevant to what you're selling. And step three, I don't even really know what step three is. I'm kind of going with this as I go along. Make sure, you have a methodology, right? That like, so you might want to work backwards with this. It's like create your package methodology and really refine that, and then create this like sort of snippet of that, which you give away for free to showcase your true value. And that will kind of like bundle everything together. So yeah, that's kind of all I've got today. Talking for 40 minutes. I actually don't know if anyone's live. Have I got any comments? I'm going to go check. I'm going to have a little look-see. Does anyone care? 3 people live, 2 shares. Well, that's kind of nice. Give me a hashtag replay. No, if you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay. If you're watching live, hashtag live. Give me any comments, shares, follows, the whole shebang. And I'm going to leave it there today. I think half an hour is a good old session. I'm actually going to be doing a practical session on clarifying your package soon into the Rebellious Business Network, onto the Rebellious Business Show. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that session, and I'll see you then. Until then, bye.